So I hear a lot of people crying because Vice President Biden overcame Bernie Sanders and got more delegates and can possibly be the nominee. Bernie Sanders was bragging and said that he can pull in so many young voters and so many people of color. Well, how come it didn't happen? How come the people of color went for Joe Biden? Joe Biden pulled in majority of people of color to vote for him to be ahead with the delegates. Now, Bernie Sanders got on TV yesterday and said that Biden is being helped by the establishment. So the establishment are the people, the black people in North Carolina, South Carolina, educated, moderate white women. He's saying that we're the establishment and that we all went in and joined the establishment and pushed Biden ahead. That's an insult. The same thing happened to Bernie Sanders when he was running against Hillary Clinton. He said, oh, it's the establishment. It's always the establishment with Bernie Sanders. And then Bernie Sanders never discussed his record. Let's discuss Bernie Sanders' record. Let's see, he only got, in his 30 years of being in the Senate, it looks like he only passed 3 bills. And he voted against the gun bill 5 times. So let's see. Since he's been in the Senate for 30-something years, he voted against the gun bill, which helped the NRA. So how many people in people of color neighborhoods got shot by a gun? How many people, got lost family member by a gun? Okay, so Bernie Sanders voted against that bill. So I don't want to hear people saying, "Oh, Bernie Sanders is all for the black people or the Spanish people." And let's be realistic. Let's see, $90 billion is half of the treasure that the United States have that he wants to do for free Medicare, and students able to go to college. Let's be realistic. Do you really think that's going to pass through the Senate or the House? He's not going to be able to get that passed. So I could run around the streets and say, hey, if you all vote for me, I'm going to give you $1,000. Is that realistic? No, it's not realistic. People got to start thinking realistically when they start talking about, Joe Biden's record when he was president 30-something years ago or whatever, he voted for the Iraq war. Well, a lot of people were manipulated for the Iraqi war because when they hit the World Trade Center, you had a lot of people and all they wanted to do was get revenge because the World Trade Center got hit. And there was mass confusion. But Bernie Sanders, he has a record. He has a record where he did things against minorities too. Okay, you have to look at his record also. So when this next debate, I know Bernie Sanders is going to come out and go, "Oh, you're working with the establishment. You're working for the wealthy world." Bernie Sanders is a millionaire. He owns $3 million homes. He has millions of dollars in the bank. So he's not an establishment, but he's talking his socialism views. Well, socialism views are not going to help with the down ballot ticket. Okay? And if we don't get the down ballot ticket, you think you got a lot of other programs wiped away? Is if the Republicans are able to take over the Senate and the House, then you're looking for all these conservative judges. So this election is very important. That's how Donald Trump got in last time, because the Bernie Sanders supporters got mad because Bernie Sanders wasn't able to beat Hillary Clinton in the primary. So then all the Bernie Sanders people say, oh, well, we're not going to come out and vote because Hillary Clinton is with the establishment. So is Bernie Sanders. People need to wake up. You need to wake up. This election is about the country, because if we don't win the House, the White House, if we don't win the Senate, if we don't win the House, this country is going to be fundamentally changed for the rest of your life. All the things that you fought for, everything is going to be changed. Okay, so whoever the nominee is, we all got to fall behind whoever it is, whether it's Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden. But we all got to fall in together, to bring normalcy back to this country. You see this coronavirus is going around here? The coronavirus is actually killing people. And President Donald Trump got on there and said, oh, it could be a hoax, and there's not that many people being affected. Well, they've been closing schools down in other countries. They got people in protected gear giving people tests as they go through with their cars. We don't even have the test. We don't even have the test. There's people walking around with the corona disease right now. And you people got to wake up and get realistic and say, we got to do something. Did you know that they had, in 2016, that they had a cure, a vaccine for the corona disease? And when Donald Trump got into office, he got rid of all the CDC scientists. And look what happened. They got the vaccine for the corona disease, but they got to put it through testing stages to make sure that it's not going to kill people. But Donald Trump put the kibosh on it. He realized that he put the kibosh on it. He doesn't want you to know that he put the kibosh on it. But somebody's loved one is going to pass away or die unnecessarily because we have a president who has his own ego. Okay, he's better than the doctors. He's better than the generals. Okay, he makes all the decisions. Right now, that corona disease is going all through those senior citizens' retirement homes, people who are laid up in retirement homes and their immune systems are low, and it's killing them. And it's killing other people with respiratory complications, heart conditions. So when you get out there and you start talking about, oh, Biden did this and Biden did that, you got to realize what you're going to be voting for. This is a serious election. If Bernie Sanders lose the primary and Joe Biden becomes the nominee, you have to be crazy. You, all of you have to be crazy if you don't fall behind him and get President Donald Trump behind out of that White House. That's how serious this election is. Can you dig on this? Dig on this. If you don't do this, guess what? You saw all this other people from the other countries being locked up because they're not American citizens. What do you think is going to happen when Donald Trump takes over for another 4 years? And what do you think is going to happen when they don't have a lockdown on this corona disease? Martial law. They're going, oh, well, you know what? We got to lock down this city because there's too much corona disease coming out, and we're going to put travel restrictions on that particular city. So you need to wake up. Wake up out there. Whoever the nominee is, we got to get behind them. And you can fight about this ideology all you want. But right now, a lot of people aren't feeling Bernie Sanders because they think he's a socialist. So you have all these conservative Democrats, all type of Democrats that decided that they did not want to vote for Bernie Sanders. Vice President Biden had no money. He was on Facebook asking for $5. Bernie Sanders had millions and millions of dollars. He had people, millions of people knocking on the doors, and Biden still beat him because people know how important this election is. People know that they got to have the right candidate to defeat Donald Trump. And guess what? People aren't feeling very confident about Bernie Sanders getting Donald Trump out of the White House. People don't feel like they didn't want to make that gamble. Okay? And as you want to talk about health care, when President Barack Obama got Obamacare, the Republican legislation, the Senate, blocked everything. They gutted the bill. And they made sure that people were made it hard for people to sign up for Obamacare. We can build on Obamacare. So when people say, what did President Barack Obama do for our people? He did a lot for our people. You need to read. You need to read and find out what he did. And educate yourselves. I'm just coming at you so that you can face reality. This is reality. This is what we're facing. Okay? So don't give me that thing that Bernie Sanders is the solution to the revolution of the depression and the incarceration of people of color. Bernie Sanders is for Bernie Sanders. And I'm not saying that Joe Biden is for that either. But right now, we got to step up, and whoever that nominee is, we got to get behind the nominee. And I'm just sorry that people are not falling behind Bernie Sanders. Now, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. And all you young people that were supposed to come out for Bernie Sanders, y'all need to shut the hell out. Because if y'all would have came out, he wouldn't have got beat like that. And Joe Biden would not be in front of him. You didn't come out. And when this is over and we have our nominee, y'all need to shut up and use your registration cards and exercise your vote. Staying home playing Xbox and doing something that's not going to benefit you, you know, in this country, is not beneficial to the livelihood of people of color or America. So let's get it together. Do your homework. Read about your candidates. Okay? Because Bernie Sanders was deep into the criminal justice thing against black and brown people himself. It wasn't just Joe Biden. Y'all think y'all got some great white hope that's going to ride in and give y'all free this and free that? It ain't happening. Okay? And people read about being a socialist or whatever. People just don't like it. Socialism is very unpopular in the United States. So get out and vote, do your homework, and whoever the nominee is, we have to fall behind them. I'm just keeping it real.